Talking about a revolution sounds. Don't you know? Talking about a revolution, it sounds like a whisper. While they're standing in the welfare lines, crying the doorsteps of those armies of salvation, wasting time in the unemployment lines, sitting around waiting for a promotion. Don't you know? Talking about a revolution sounds. Who are people gonna rise up, get their share? Who are people gonna rise up, take what's there? Don't you know you better run, 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 run. Oh, I said you better run, 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 run. 'Cause finally the tables are starting to turn. 'Cause finally the tables are starting to turn. 'Cause finally the tables are starting to turn. 'Cause finally the tables are starting to turn.
Ladies and gentlemen, today is Thursday, the 19th day of June, and if you can hear the sound of my voice, then you are the revolution. My name is Smokin Mekhael, and this is the Revolutionary Nightly News. I'd like to welcome all of you and thank you for tuning into this worldwide transmission. I'd like to start today with a quote from the great Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. If you can't fly, then run. If you can't run, then walk. If you can't walk, then crawl. But whatever you do, you have to keep moving forward. And that's very true. As long as you stay in the game, you are winning. As long as you don't give up, you are winning. As long as you don't throw in the towel, you are winning. The only time you ever really fail is when you give up and you don't try anymore. So I encourage all of you in all areas of your life to stay in the game. As long as you stay in the game, you're creating an opportunity for success down the road. Now today I'm going to be talking about the non-aggression principle and the self-defense principle, and how this ties into what I was talking about 2 nights ago with gun rights, and how we all have inherent natural rights to do whatever we please unless we inflict harm on someone else or infringe on the rights of someone else. They are our natural rights. Every human being has the right to do what they please, as long as it doesn't infringe on anyone else. Now I'm going to talk to you about some feedback that I got, and I'm going to answer some feedback that I got right here on tonight's news. Now when I made that episode about guns and gun rights a few nights ago, I got a little bit of criticism. I wouldn't really call it negative feedback, but I suppose it's constructive criticism, and I'd like to address that. When I put a post up about it, a good friend of mine said, "So sad, bro. Thought you were all about love and positivity, not guns." And I really don't like going into long drawn out arguments on Facebook. I prefer to, talk to people in real life, or I found that this is a really good medium for addressing feedback as well. So I'm going to address it here. I wrote that I am all about love, but that doesn't mean bending over and not offending yourself. Now, let me explain that further. I believe in the non-aggression principle, which means that I don't think anyone should start aggression or start violence against someone else. They have no natural right to do that. And if people do that, they're going to bear the negative consequences. Because when you do something that you have no natural right to do, you give up your right to be safe. Now, along with the non-aggression principle, not initiating aggression against anyone else, I believe in the self-defense principle, which means that if you're being attacked, you have the natural, moral, spiritual right to defend yourself by any means necessary. Now, I am about peace, I am about love, I am about freedom, and that's why I'm espousing not only the non-aggression principle, but also the self-defense principle. The government and the Illuminati and the New World Order and the cowards who seek to control the world, they've succeeded to a degree in diluting, in emasculating, in crushing the sacred masculine aspect of consciousness, which is action. And they would be happy for the people in the truth movement to sit around a campfire singing Kumbaya and not take any action, because as much as spreading the information and, you know, having a spirit of love and a spirit of honor and a spirit of gratitude and a spirit of kindness, as much as they are important things, an equally important part is taking action. Now, I am definitely not calling for any violence to be committed against anyone, including the cowards in government. Illegitimately in government, I might add. I'm not calling for violence of any type, but I'm trying to make it understood on a broader scale that we have the right to defend ourselves against any type of attack. And we're being attacked 24/7, radiologically, physically, mentally, spiritually, chemically, biologically, on a whole number of fronts, on a myriad of angles. We're being attacked constantly. And we have the right to defend ourselves. You're a sovereign human being, I'm a sovereign human being, and we shouldn't have to bow down to anyone else. There's no reason that there's a group of people in society who have the right to make rules, and then there's a group of people in society who have to follow those rules, otherwise they're going to be kidnapped, tortured, arrested. They're going to have their freedom taken away from them. That's not right. I want you to recognize your inherent sovereignty. I want you to understand that within you is a free being who shouldn't have to cow down, who shouldn't have to bow down to any government. There was a little bit more feedback that I got on the same post. One young man said, "We already have a way to defend ourselves. Our brains and a somewhat decent legal system. Not perfect, but nothing is perfect." The legal system is not only not perfect, the legal system is a fraud, it is a facade, it is a falsity, it is a fallacy. It is not real. It is written by people who seek to control the world and who seek to control you. They don't have your best interest at heart at all. The law makes us slaves because it is not natural. It is written by men who are corrupt and who have proven their corruption and their murderous, genocidal tendencies for hundreds of years. The question is, who do you mean by everyone? He's talking about who should have the right to keep and bear arms. What about a person with a history of violence, or someone susceptible to psychological problems but doesn't know it yet? Or perhaps someone with no criminal record, however, has gang affiliations. We need gun control. Just look how messed the US is, man. We need to change ourselves before we even think about changing the world. Give everyone a gun and say goodbye to years of human evolution. You made one good point. We need to change ourselves before we even think about changing the world. And that's correct. We need to change the way we think and break out of the paradigm of government control and their propaganda, which is telling us that guns are bad, that guns are scary, that guns are causing this violence. He says, how about people with a criminal record who with gang affiliations? How about the government? How about the police? How about the army? The biggest gangs in the world, and they cause the biggest number of deaths. Once again, I point to the University of Hawaii's study. You can look it up. Democide and death by government. Conservatively, 170 million people killed by government during the 20th century. And they're the only ones who are allowed weapons? I haven't killed anyone. I don't want weapons. I don't want guns. I don't want to be talking to a video camera right now trying to spread this information. I really don't. I would be so much happier if I could play my music and live my life and not have to worry about the people who control the world and how they're poisoning the water and poisoning the air and trying to kill people and killing people all over the planet. I really wish I wasn't in the position where I would have to sit here and defend humanity against it. But you know what? I am. And this is where we are. And I really call on everyone to have the courage to look through the propaganda and understand that they don't have your best interests at heart. When they talk about wanting gun control, they want gun control because they want the populace disarmed. Hitler took the guns, Stalin took the guns, Mao took the guns, and when the people are disarmed, they are ripe for the tyranny to run all over them. And that's not going to happen though, because I'm here and you're here tuning into this worldwide transmission. And I tell you, the power of love is going to overcome the power of hate. The power of love is going to overcome their propaganda. And I'm going to show you how. I'm going to show you. There's just one more young man made a comment, said, stick to DJing. Bro, I love DJing more than anything in the world. It is a rush. Ooh, what a rush. To play in front of a huge crowd of people. I love that, man. But I tell you what, this is more important. This is more important. And if I got to give up my DJ career to fight the revolution, then that's what I'm going to do. But I know that's not going to happen. And I know that my plan from years and years ago was to use my fame as a DJ to further the revolution. And so it's going to help me. It's not going to hinder me. So that's what I say. Why don't you join the fight with me? Why don't you get out of the grandstand and into the arena? I tell you, man, it's a lot more exciting here. Stick to DJing. I'm sticking to winning. I'm sticking to the revolution. Now I'm going to show you a video. I just said that the power of love can overcome the love of power. And that's when the world will know peace, to quote Hendrix, Jimi Hendrix from memory. Here's an experiment where water was taken, different samples of water, and they were isolated in different rooms, and over certain samples, positive things were said, like love, happiness. Positive music was played to them, and to a certain number of other samples, negative music was played to them. Negative labels were put on them, negative words were spoken to them. And it was absolutely amazing what happened. Instead of me explaining it, I'll let you watch. Isn't that beautiful? It really is beautiful. What this experiment illustrates is that what we think about, what we talk about, what we express through our actions, that's what constructs our world. Our bodies are made of more than 60% water. And as you can see, this water crystal, which has been frozen after it was given stimulus of thank you. You can see the beautiful, intricate, symmetrical shapes being present. This is what I'm doing right now, right here. I'm sending out the frequency of love. I'm sending out the frequency of kindness, gratitude, peace, and freedom across the world. And I'm really glad that you're receiving it right now. We are greatly outgunned. We're greatly outmanned. We're greatly outnumbered. But we have the power of love. We have the power of truth on our side. And that's what's going to lead us to victory. The principle of non-aggression. Love towards all beings. That's what I'm all about. I want people to be free. I don't want them to have their water poisoned by the government. I don't want them to have the sky poisoned. I don't want them to be controlled through schooling. I don't want them to be dumbed down on so many different levels. I want people to be strong and healthy. I don't want to start a fight with anyone, man. I'm serious. That's the principle of non-aggression. I also believe in the principle of self-defense. And the people who seek to control the world, the cowards that call themselves the Illuminati, they're attacking us right now. And it's up to us together to stand up and fight what's going on. Don't have your natural self-defense principles suppressed. Be a real man. Be a real woman. Join the good fight. I tell you what, television is not important. Who won in the football doesn't matter. The next generation isn't going to have a world to live in if we don't stand up and do the right thing. But I know that we will stand up and do the right thing. I know that we're going to open our minds and really search for the truth. I know that we are going to recognize the truth for what it is and recognize the cowards who try and control the world for what they are. And I understand that you and I together are going to win this revolution. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for tuning in today. Continue with the feedback, please. Give me more ideas for these shows. Give me more ideas on how we can, really improve our activism together. I need you to help me. I'm sending you vibrations of love, peace, and victory because you and we're gonna win the revolution. Woo!